Hello, this is Marcus again, and today I want to talk to you about the quality of the interior of the Volkswagen ID.3 first, and where they haven't cost cut. So in my opinions video, I gave you a couple of places where I thought Volkswagen had cost cut with my ID.3 first. These areas wouldn't have been cost cutted if I'd bought an ID.3 First Max. So check my video below about the opinions I have of the ID.3 First. There are lots of areas where Volkswagen haven't cost cut and in fact have done the opposite, and I want to talk about these areas and in particular the quality of the interior, because a lot of reviewers have been saying the interior isn't good quality. So I'm going to talk about the quality of the interior and where Volkswagen hasn't cost cut. The first area where Volkswagen definitely hasn't cost cut is in the battery, 58 kilowatt hour usable battery, in the charging, 100 kilowatt hour charging, and in the battery management system. This car is liquid cooled and liquid heated. There's many EVs where those areas have been cost cutted, and also we've got a 150 kilowatt motor in the back that delivers over 200 horsepower. So the drivetrain, the battery system and the engine definitely hasn't had any cost cutting. Now I want to show you something. I'm going to get outside. This is where we're going to start. I'm going to show you one area where they definitely haven't cut corners and cut costs. Let's have a look. It's windy today, so you probably can't hear this very much, but let's see if we can zoom in here. As you can see, they've got insulation running down here, and they've also got a second barrier of insulation here. I've never seen this on any other car. You can see it better here. So here we've got one layer of insulation, and here we've got another layer of insulation running across there. Perhaps like around the other side might be easier to see because of the sunlight. As you can see, there's actually two layers of insulation on the window. I've never seen this before in any car. Well, I've never owned a Rolls Royce or something like that. But here you've got one layer of insulation here, another layer of insulation there, and that goes around here. We've got two layers of insulation here. The insulation goes around there, and it goes around here again, two layers. And all the way down here, we've got two layers of insulation. So that's the front passenger door. Let's look at the back passenger door. It's the same. We've got one layer of insulation here and another layer of insulation there. So as you can see, this is not cost cutting, adding two layers of insulation to the car. Now we're back in the car where it's not so windy. Let's talk about interior quality. So why is it they've put these layers of insulation here on the Volkswagen ID.3? Well, obviously it's to cut down on interior noise, because this is a very quiet EV. It's quieter than the Model 3 and many other EVs. It really is up there as one of the quietest EVs you can buy. Perhaps the e-tron, the Mercedes EQC are quieter, but this is a real quiet EV. And why is it that this car is so quiet? It's because they haven't cut costs on insulation like I've just shown. There's one area where they haven't cut costs, and this really improves the interior quality, because the interior now is a nicer place to be and a quieter place to be. We don't have so much noise. A lot of people are saying that this isn't up to Volkswagen's quality standard, and they're saying it's not as good as other interior EVs such as the Kia e-Niro, etc. Now I think people are confusing a traditional design with a minimalist design. Now the ID.3 First is a minimalist. Just look at it. Very open, very open. One tablet here, one small binnacle here, and all this area here, lift this up, all this area here is just for storage. For your phones, for two bottles, get big bottles here. Huge storage area here, can even fit an umbrella in it. And then we've got this little storage area here as well. So that all looks very minimalist, and it looks like a car from 30 years ago, because cars from 30 years ago basically had a handbrake here and a gear stick and nothing else. Where if you look at something like the Golf 7, the Golf 7 has a huge center console here, goes all the way up here, lots of buttons, a screen here, I'll show you the picture, and a bigger screen going along here, so it all seems to go in together. So I think people are confusing something like the Golf 7, which has a more, what we'd say, traditional look currently, with this new minimalistic look of the ID.3. So, for example, in the Golf 7 here, you've probably got a nice gear stick with nice leather, with a nice silver top. You've got buttons here, you've got a nice screen, you've got all this. So that just looks like quality, because it's what you expect. The same in the e-Nero. The e-Nero's got a high center console here, with the gear selector here, and lots of nice buttons. e-Nero definitely has a very quality feel to it. It definitely is a quality interior. The same as the Golf 7 is a quality interior. So people are expecting that kind of interior on the ID.3, in particular as it is coming from Volkswagen, and Volkswagen are quite a traditional company when it comes to interiors and are well known for build quality. Just listen to this door slamming. That is a Volkswagen quality door slamming, tell by the sound. Now, I'm going to say something now about the quality of the ID.3. The quality of the ID.3 is outstanding and the build is outstanding. So don't listen to people who say the ID.3 has bad interior build quality. It's minimalist. So either you like minimalism in a car or you prefer the more traditional approach, but don't say just because it's minimalist that it's bad quality, because this ID.3 is anything but bad quality. Let's have a look at it. The interior. So here we've got a nice leather steering wheel. I know some vegan fans won't be happy with it, but it's very nice. Here the touch is just great. Here it's just great. The steering wheel is so good to hold, beautiful. These stalks here, when I moved them, etc., to be honest, I don't think I've touched stalks with such good quality. You just feel build quality oozing out of them, and when you move them they just work, they're precise, they're great. But this selector here just oozes quality. It's really nice. It just works. It does feel like it's built to last. Now, I can't say the interior of this car is going to be built to last, because obviously no one's had it for 10 years yet. This is just good build quality. This is fine. The tablet has excellent build quality. The screen's amazing resolution, and people talk about these things here. They like them or they don't like them. To me, I was expecting not to like this and prefer a knob, but this just works. And here you've got the advantage of not having a knob. Knobs, when you use them after many years, have a tendency to fall off or become loose. This doesn't. This has got no moving parts as far as I know. It's just a slider. It's so easy to use, just as easy to use as a knob. So there's no issues there. All these buttons seem to work fine. There's absolutely no issue with them. Some people don't like the climate controls and prefer buttons. That's fine. But climate controls here just work fine, and they're quick, and there's no issues with them. It's nice and big. I can increase it, decrease it, or increase it, decrease it here. There's just absolutely no issues with it whatsoever, and because it's big, it's easy for me to find. I just click the climate button there, and it comes back, or click it there again. So the whole screen, even though it's in piano black, I actually think this piano black looks nice, is actually oozing quality. Now here, we've got a soft area, but here we've got a hard area. Now people are complaining that this area here is hard. I don't know why you'd complain. I just never touched the damn thing. I mean, I don't know who goes around touching these areas. This is nice quality. Everything in this car oozes quality, even though it's plastic. You know, I don't know how many cars are now built in mahogany wood nowadays. I don't think that many. Or, you know, fabric might have been nice here as well. But there's nothing wrong with this plastic, even though it's hard. It's actually screwed together. It doesn't rattle. It doesn't give any noise whatsoever when you're driving. It just feels solid. The center console, it doesn't wobble. I'm moving it a lot. You know, it's just in there, and it's solid, and it's great. She's got all this room. It's not very traditional, and it's low down. I really like the fact it's low down, because when I'm driving I can put my knees like that and I'm not hitting something here. I really hate cars with a high center console where my knee is resting against something. I don't want my knee to rest against something. So this center console here, even though it doesn't have a nice gear shifter, even though it doesn't have lots of buttons, it's good quality. This here is plastic, but it seems to be good. And the pedals, they're a bit dirty because I've been in muddy places. It's been raining today. The pedals also seem to be good quality, like an aluminium. The interior quality in this car, I think, is very high. And one thing you'd noticed, that if it wasn't screwed together correctly, or if the plastics weren't good, you'd hear the plastics creaking, you'd hear noise from the plastics, particularly in a Quad TV. You don't hear any of that in this car. So I wanted to talk about the quality of the air conditioning system here in the interior. So the vents here, they're just quality. To touch their quality, they're nice. I mean, I have been in an Audi A3 where the vents were all aluminium, so they were better in the Audi A3, but there's nothing wrong with these air vents. We've got some up there, and we've got some more here. Now the best thing for me is, which I don't think I've really experienced in another car, and it's strange, is that when you set the climate, you set the climate here to what you want it to be, is that it seems that the air fills the whole cabin. It doesn't seem like a blower's on my face or on my feet or something. It really seems there's something really special with the way they've done the air conditioning and heating in the car, is that it really seems to fill the whole cabin. And even with voice commands, it just works really well. This is probably the best car I've been in for heating and cooling. It's really, really nice. It's difficult to describe, but it's a really nice place to be inside the cabin if you want to be cool or be heated. Another area where I don't think they've cost cut. Now, I said I don't like the pattern on these fabrics, and I don't on the seats, but I actually think the fabrics are very good quality. I actually think this is going to be a long-lasting material. Just by looking at it, you know, I can't prove that until the seats are 10 years old, but I just think that's going to be a quality material. Other things where I don't think they've cost cut, for example, they've got this here, these rubber things in here, you've got rubber things in here, you've got this for the bottle. I haven't seen this before in a car. Inside of the pockets you've got a little carpet. I don't think I've seen that before. Normally they're just plastic areas. What's great here is these lights are just touch, and if you hold them down they increase and decrease. The same on the passenger's side, and it's the same on the passenger's side and the same at the back. This area here looks nice quality. This mirror here is really nice, seems good quality. Excellent. This here, you've even got a shutter to open and close, and it even turns a light on there. See, so that seems quality. I think that's standard in most Volkswagen cars, to be honest. It's the same on the passenger side. You open it and you close it. It's got the light as well. Here, these buttons here, I don't see them going wrong either, you know, for the lights. They just touch. I'm putting things on now. I don't want to put things on. Here, these are just fine. They just work. They're up and down, the rear, these work. It's definitely minimalist, this car, and that's something I really like because you're in an open area space. It's not traditional, so you don't feel cramped like you perhaps would in other cars. But I don't think the interior in any way is bad quality. I actually think it's very good quality, better than a lot of cars you can buy nowadays, and I definitely think it is Volkswagen quality. Even though it doesn't look like a traditional Volkswagen interior, I definitely think they've used quality materials. Obviously, they haven't used wood, they've used plastic, but everybody uses plastic for car interiors. I don't understand the idea of if you hit it, it's hard. Well, obviously, probably it has to be hard unless you want it flexible like a bottle. So what I'm saying is, if you are thinking about buying an ID.3 and are worried about the interior quality, then don't be, just buy the ID.3. Because the interior quality is absolutely brilliant and you will have no rattles, any problems with it whatsoever, I don't believe. If, however, you hate the minimalist interior of the ID.3 and prefer something more traditional, then get a more traditional car with a more traditional interior. Something like the e-Niro, for example. But please don't say that the interior quality of this car is bad. Thank you for watching this episode of EV Journey. Please click subscribe because I really want to get up to 1,000 subscribers so I can do the 1,000 kilometer challenge in Portugal, and it's going to be different to the other 1,000 kilometer channels. Thank you again for watching.